position, but it is Drake with the advantage at the stripe. The 11L and the 11X shooting out nose to tail into turns 1 and 2. The 11L up on the high side. Cody Laney sees what's going on ahead of him. He says, hey, I'm going to try it. Tom Malcolm off the pace on the infield. No caution is out. He'll make his way to the infield of the racetrack. The top 5. Incredible race here at the Budweiser Nationals, Mike.
Yeah, you still got Logan Drake committed to the bottom. Everybody else is going up on the high side, but Logan Drake, for some, don't know how he's got that set up, but he's able to stay down there low, and maybe with the cooler track down there, he can get a little extra grip to be able to drive off compared to everything on the high side.
Now you run that left rear all the way to the bottom, and that is, of course, going to be the 111 of Logan Drake. He is the only one in the top 7 that is run in the very bottom. You see the top 3. You have, of course, the 174 of Ethan Dotson. He is up in the high. Oh, Hogue tries to make a move.
Bobby Hogue is starting to move. He's starting to put the heat to the 174 of Ethan Dotson. You can guarantee Dotson knows he's right there. And Bobby Hogue sitting back there, showing some color, flexing some muscle, says, I'm not ready to make my move yet, but keep your eye on that 2-car, boys.
Starting to make his move now. They're closing in side by side. The only person, again, Hogue goes onto the top side, but all the way on the bottom, the top 5 is going to be the 111 of Logan Drake. Now, you sit there and you put the left rear on that bottom cushion. You try to load that car. You're trying to rotate that car a little bit more. Is that going to sit there and bite him later on in the field? Or is it going
Sawyer just drove by him. I mean, they've got the momentum across the top. Drake's got the shorter way around, but it looks like there's a little better material up top, a little more moisture to work with, if there's any moisture out there at all. But look at Hogue once again putting the bumper on the 174 of Dotson, while the 98 and the 111 have been reeling these guys in lap after lap. Now Hogue makes a big move on the bottom, trying to show some more color to Dotson. Dotson going to use the lap car just ahead of him for a pick. Bobby Hogue right back to the high side. 20 laps down this time around. 20 down for your leader, Ethan Dotson, in the 174.
Right now they're getting up on lap traffic, so it's going to be very interesting to see whose line gets cut off right now. Dalen Coffey, the 55, is on the bottom, so that might hurt Logan a whole lot. Logan checked up a little bit, lost the 3rd spot to Robbie Sawyer, but right now 1, 2, and 3 are all wall bangers right now.
I'm telling you right now, 20 laps down, 20 to go, halfway around that time around, 21 laps that time around. Now, check this out, 20 laps is going to click off within seconds because we already have 21 laps down. It didn't take us very long. All up front, Hogue is still following on the rear bumper of the 174 of Dotson. Now, Dotson literally has to screw up because it looks like right now Hogue is either sitting there trying to push it, try to push it a little bit further. Dotson has to screw up for him to pass him.
Maybe, but right now, lap traffic may be a factor. We've got several lap cars just ahead of the leaders, and they are starting to reel those guys in quick. What will Hogue do once they get to lap traffic? And Ethan Dotson has committed himself to the high side, clearly. Hogue has hunted the track. He showed some color on the bottom. Here we go, lap traffic. They've caught the back of the pack. Dotson committed to the high side. Hogue still right there, but Hogue right now has got the advantage.
Hogue sits there and looks, and if you've been watching the last 3 laps, he's sitting there slowly but surely creeping down a little bit.
Trouble in turn 4.
Caution flag is out. Corey, like I was saying to Mike, is you start watching Hogue, right? And he's running nose to tail with the leader, with Dotson. If you notice, the last 3 laps, he's actually started scooting down a little bit further out of turn number 4. Now, is that going to sit there and going to be an advantage? You talk about lap traffic now. Caution flag is out. We're 24 laps down.
Now it's all about a clear racetrack.
Will not be won't be an issue. So you sit there and you think, Mike, this is your facility. You kind of know what's going to happen. Talk to us a little bit about what this track is going to do and what those top 4 guys are going to.
Right now, all that's happening right now is Bobby Hogue is pushing Ethan Dotson into that deep, deep water. And that shark is just waiting.
So you're telling me that he's setting him up?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
And we have seen it in the past.
He's got a handful of guitars that'll tell you he knows.
That is an honest-to-God statement right there. Bobby Hogue. We've seen it already here in the first half of the race. Gets under there, shows some color, backs out, getting in the corner. He shows Dotson, hey, I'm here. He's putting the pressure on him. He's playing that. He's getting in Dotson's head. But Dotson's been as cool as the other side of the pillow to this point. He has been flawless.
Ethan Dotson this whole summer has been back east, running with the best of the best back there.
Went to Boone, ran the Nationals.
Yeah. And, he's finished up in the top. He's won a few races back there. There's nothing that he thinks that Bobby Hogue has that he hasn't seen yet.
Right, absolutely. You are correct when you say that.
So check this out. Let's start a little controversy. All right? You know me. I kind of like to start some stuff up here. Ladies and gentlemen at home, the 2-car Bobby Hogue Oh, man, looks like some motor issue is happening. He is sitting there. No, I'm just playing. I don't think Bobby Hogue has anything for Dotson. I'm going to tell you that right now. So listeners at home, Hogue ain't got nothing.
Oh, you know what?
Tradition, out the window. Don't got nothing.
You know what? You're walking out of here on your own tonight.
I'm going to tell you right now. You walk outside this booth and you go down to that first row on your left.
You're on your
They'll
own.
tell you that Bobby Hogue's got something, boy.
You're on your own, buddy. This is Hogue country
You ain't
right
making
here.
it to that flight on Sunday.
We'll see what happens here in the final 16 laps. We've got 24 down, 16 to go.
No, I think
Dotson, Hogue, then it's Sawyer, Drake, and Laney. Those are your top 5. Right behind Laney in the 11X. That is Brad Pounds. Those top 5, 6 cars, I mean, anybody can pull this off.
Green flag flies, and we're underway. Hogue straight down to the bottom out of turn number 2. He's going to sit there and run side by side. He's going to show a little bit of color. Falls back to second, ladies and gentlemen. Dotson. Go ahead, Mike.
All right, the battle right now, actually behind those guys, you've got 3rd through 6th are all right there. The 11 cars, I was telling you they're going to be coming up. Laney and Pounds right there trying to make a move. Laney to the inside. On the bottom, telling Logan Drake, hey, whatever you could do, I could do too. Went down there, tried to make a move, showed him some color, showed him a little fender.
Well, Laney and Drake are running side by side, but that's not Laney. That's actually Pounds working the bottom
there.
underneath
Laney
Drake.
staying right
See if
behind
he can
Drake.
pull it off right here. The battle up front. Look at Bobby Hogue just went side by side, door to door with the 174 at Dotson. Still running that little lower groove you were talking about, Josh, trying to flex some muscle, show some color, and get into the head of Dotson. But it has not worked up until this point, and we're on lap 27.
He's going back to the top side. That is Hogue, of course. All out front, literally from lap number 1. He's led every single lap. 27, it'll be 28 laps down this time around. Is going to be Dotson, Hogue. Then you have the 198 of Sawyer.
Drake,
and right behind him,
Pounds,
look
Laney.
at that. 2 wide, all the way down to the bottom. That is a battle for the 4th spot. That is the 111 and, of course, the 11.
Drake just slammed the door on the 11X of Pounds. Pounds drifted to the high side to turns 3 and 4. Now they go bumper to bumper down the front straightaway. And continually sneaking forward is that 27 car of Carroll we talked about.
Look at a little bit of bracing or something is hanging off of the left rear. That is a little bit of sheet metal damage, of course, on your leader, Ethan Dotson. No harm, no foul. He's going to keep going. 30 laps down, 10 laps to go. Hogue now down to the bottom out of turn number 2. He's going to show a little bit of color again. He's going to let you know, hey, Dotson, I am right here. We got 10 laps to go. I'm going to show you.
Watching Bobby Hogue, he works really well on the entry down at turns 1 and 2, but when he gets to the apex, you can see the push in the car, and that's why he can't make that move.
Exactly. He's down there trying to show something.
There's
He's
the push
trying
right
to make
there.
it, and as soon as he gets to that apex, he slides up. He's going to...
Trouble in turn 4.
Debris also, car around. Okay, 31 laps down.
9-lap shootout.
Listen to this. So Hogue now is showing a little bit of color going down to the bottom, right? Has that push in the middle. Are we going to talk a little bit about a little bit of brake bias going in? Are we going to go in a little bit harder now? Tires are going to cool down. We know with these IMCA Modifieds, with these G60 tires that they have to run, you heat these tires up, they're going to glaze. It's going to take 3 laps for these tires to come back in.
If they come back in at all.
Does Hogue have the chassis? Does Hogue have the chassis to make it for the next 9 laps to have those tires come back in?
Well, in our live interview earlier today, he did say it is more than 50% driver in the cockpit. We'll see if he can make the adjustments to himself to get that car in, to get under the 1 of Dotson. Right now, Dotson has just been flawless up to this point. I mean, he's driven a fantastic race. If anybody's got anything for him, they better make it happen quick because we've only got 9 laps left, boys.
You know, the crazy part about it, too, is we were talking about how this track changes so much. In the start of the night, everybody was running the bottom to the middle. Now, the start of this main event, 40 laps, they started on the bottom, didn't go to the middle, went straight to the top. It took one person on the top 5 to go to the top, and then they all went to the top. And
right.
The only one, Mike, right now that is running the bottom was that 11 car of Laney.
No, Laney was on the high side. It was Pounds on the 11X.
That's right.
Identical
their
cars,
cars
different.
look exactly the same.
Well, you got the 11X, the 11L, and the 11.
These guys need to get
And
rid
they're
of
all
those.
black and orange.
And they're all they're all owned by the same company. They're
enough
BHR
said.
cars.
That's Tommy Switman in that 11 car out of Grace Harbor. No, that's who it reminds me of. But no.
Without a doubt.
Man.
You can tell we're from up north. I'll tell you what, Bakersfield, these guys put on one heck of a race.
Look at the talent. That's what we're talking about. I mean, look at how
best of the
hard
best.
these guys are driving, and we've only seen, this is the second caution in 27 laps.
Yep.
Impressive job of driving by all these guys at this point, Mike.
I'm going to tell you right now, Bobby Hogue's going to go to the high side before Ethan Dotson gets up there and show him a little during these caution flags. He's going to go up there and he's going to be like, look, I'm going to get you on the high side. Have Ethan Dotson thinking, okay, he's going to try to go high side. Got to go high side. Next thing you know, he's going to blink. That red car is coming on the bottom.
A little bit of mind games going to happen
already.
Well, we'll see if he can pull it off because we're going to go back to green out of turn 4.
He's already on that outside.
So is Sawyer.
Sawyer's way on the outside.
There we go. Out of turn 4. Green flag for your leader, Ethan Dotson.
Oh, look at
Dotson,
Sawyer.
Hogue,
Right.
Sawyer.
Sawyer's right on
Pounds.
the back bumper of Hogue.
We may have a new leader out of turn 2. Bobby Hogue is right there with him, but look at the forward bite of Dotson in the 174.
Keep your eye on that 11X of Pounds. Pounds now running the very, very, very bottom. Coming out of turn number 4. He's going to challenge 3 wide down the front stretch.
Right now, it's going to Robbie Sawyer going to the bottom. He hasn't been there all night trying to show something for Bobby Hogue. Not going to happen this time. Bobby Hogue's pulling that 11X of Pounds with him.
Caution flag is going to come out for a car spin over there in turn number 2. Not sure who that is.
It's Crockett in the 21.
Nope.
No, it's the
That's
91 of
Tony
Tony Toast.
Tony Toast in the 91.
Crockett was the last caution over in turn 3. He already pulled off.
Not having a good night, Tony
Been a
Toast
tough
in
night.
that 91 car. Spun over there in turn number 2. Had a little bit of issue, or turn number 4. Now spun over there in had that, collection over there earlier today.
Right.
And then now spins over there in turn number 2.
You've got to look at it right now. Is what's happening with the 91T is double duty playing a little bit on him? Is he having to stretch himself a little thin?
It's hot.
His crew might be stretched a little thin, running 2 cars tonight. It was originally supposed to be set up for Matt Crafton, so that could be a big difference too.
That's right.
Matt and Tony run a pretty different setup in their cars. So, there could be an abundance.
You're right. We had Crafton up north at Willamette Speedway earlier this year for the Clare Cup, and he did fairly well. I mean, he got a top 10 finish. He did a great job. But he did say, hey, look, we run a lot of different stuff between the setup between Tony Toast and I, and maybe that's a Matt Crafton setup on there, and Tony's struggling with the setup.
We were talking to his crew and stuff when we were talking, earlier today, we were talking, about putting, Moxie cameras and stuff on some of these cars, and talking to his crew guys, and they actually have to do a huge, huge chassis change to load the car into the trailer. Talking about taking a bunch of turns out of the springs, front and rear. Maybe that has done something. This track has changed immensely
a lot. Just to get
the
that
time we got here.
Just to get that car in the hauler, Tim Douglas had to put 15 rounds into the right front and take 10 out of the left rear just to get the car so we can load it into the hauler.
Right, because they set these with a big bias on them. We've got lights out on the track. We're getting ready to go. Robbie Sawyer going up to the top again.
Bobby Hogue right on the backside of him. Green flag is out. We're underway. Look who's getting pushed down the front stretch. Hogue was literally sideways down the front stretch at the flag stand because you had the 198 of Sawyer pushing the rear bumper. Now Sawyer looks on the inside of Hogue.
Sawyer down low through turns 3 and 4. Brad Pounds trying to work the group. Look at Bobby Hogue. Look at Pounds and Sawyer side by side down the front stretch into Warren now. Sawyer way up on the top side. Brad Pounds working the gutter through turns 3 and 4. They're side by side out of 2 down the backstretch. They're going to swap spots into turn number 3. Your leader up front, Ethan Dotson, says, hey, guys, keep racing. This works to my benefit.
Yeah, as they're going side by side and working with each other, he's checking out the 174. We've got 6 to go. 6 to go this time.
6 to go. Laps down. They're coming out of turn number 4 to make it 35 laps. 5 laps to go. Literally now the top 4 kind of settled down a little bit. Those last 2 laps, they were kind of a little bit crazy, but now everybody is up to the top side. The 174 of Dotson. He's pulling about a 4-car length, now 2-car length of Bobby Hogue going into turn 3 and 4.
Robbie Sawyer in that 198, and the last one went up above the cushion on 1 and 2. That's why that 11X got a little jump on him on that backstretch. Now he's diving to the bottom side. Robbie Sawyer pushing that cushion once again.
Sawyer and Pounds and Sawyer, they've been swapping, at each end of the racetrack, they're swapping grooves as now Sawyer up on the high side. Look at Pounds run right up next to him and put a door on. Awesome racing right there. Doesn't get any better than that. You couldn't put a piece of paper between the two. Now look at Bobby Hogue. Bobby Hogue was right up against the cushion, bumper to bumper with Dotson out of 2 down the backstretch into turn number 3. Bobby Hogue is looking to make a move here in the next couple of laps. 38 laps down this time around. We're going to take the white flag next time.
Bobby Hogue looking on the inside of turn number 1 now. It's 38 laps down. You said, Corey, I'll tell you what, they're still side by side. That push coming out of turn number 2 for Hogue is definitely Achilles heel. White flag this time around for your leader, Ethan Dotson.
Dotson now with a car length lead over the 2 of Bobby Hogue. Robbie Sawyer still right there in the mix as the top 3.
Oh, Hogue hit the
contact! Contact with the wall, and Hogue doesn't back out at all.
Not at all. Hammer down.